had Hollywood Super Bowl. I'm Lauren Zima.
And I'm Denny Directo. Thank you for joining us for our live recap of the 90th Academy Awards.
So we got to launch right into the big winners of the night. But of course, we want to know what you guys thought. Did you agree with the top winners? What were your favorite moments of the show? We're going to run down everything that was huge that happened. No mistake on the Best Picture announcement.
Right. They got it right.
So please leave your comments. And of course, we'll get them here on ET's iPad. So let's talk Best Picture right off the bat. We just heard it.
Shape of Water. Congratulations to The Shape of Water. It was the film that earned the most Oscar nominations this year with 13. If you guys watched our preview on Friday, we talked about how the Best Picture race was probably the most wide open it's been in a long time. We predicted that The Shape of Water would take it, and in fact did, which was really exciting because if you guys watched it, Guillermo del Toro just gave a really passionate and emotional speech, really dedicated to young filmmakers out there who are watching, and I thought it was so poignant. And he made that moment just to share about his journey there. He talked about how Steven Spielberg inspired him and told him, hey, just know that when you're up there, you are part of a lineage of amazing, talented filmmakers. So it was a really special moment to watch.
Nicely putting things into perspective on the 90th Academy Awards. Guillermo was up on stage a couple times tonight. He also talked about the importance of, acknowledging immigrants and the contributions they've made to our country. So many immigrants in the room. Him, Gal Gadot, so many. A lot, guys. But also a nod to Guillermo's sense of humor. I loved that when he got up there for Best Picture, he opened that envelope handed to him by Warren Beatty, and he double-checked it, and he said, yes, it was Shape of Water.
There was no mistakes, guys. There was no Best Picture flub. We knew that was not going to fly again. But I can also see in Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway's faces as they were approaching the microphone,
were shaking a little bit.
As they were opening the envelope, they were visibly nervous. They're like, let's get it right.
I mean, understandably, that led to such a conversation that they weren't really asking for last year.
Absolutely.
And I thought that the show did such a great job, including Jimmy Kimmel, of nodding to it. He said, it's the 51st anniversary of Bonnie and Clyde, which is why we have Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway up here again. So they really did a great job. Even before the announcement, they cut to a shot of the envelope and said, everyone, this is the envelope that will contain the Best Picture announcement.
And right before that, Jimmy was like, nothing could go wrong from here. And it didn't.
Except we know it could. But this year it didn't.
It didn't. But yeah, a lot of great winners. Huge winners.
And like you said, Best Picture, Shape of Water, we had kind of predicted that. And again, many of the categories, you guys, we told you there weren't going to be a lot of major upsets. That was our guess, and we were right. There weren't tons of major upsets. So Best Actor went to Gary Oldman. He was the favorite to win for The Darkest Hour, and he won. That's his first Oscar. So yeah, good moment.
Exactly. A memorable moment, but we have to talk about Frances McDormand, who took home her second Oscar for Best Actress. I mean, we kind of anticipated that she was going to give a speech that was either very impassioned, very hilarious, probably both. It was all of the above.
Yes.
And it was also really special. There was a really special moment in her speech.
Yeah, let's talk about it, guys, because Frances McDormand has been wowing us and surprising us with her speeches all award season long. She got up there tonight and she said, I have something to say. And she did. So Frances...
And we buckled up. We were like ready to go.
What's she going to do?
What is she going to say?
So Frances gets up there and she did something really powerful. What she asked was that all of the female nominees in the audience stand up. She even joked. She said, Meryl, if you go first, everybody will. And Meryl did. And it was a powerful moment. All the female nominees in the room got applause. And Frances said, hey, here's the thing. We want this to go beyond tonight. Also, have these women meet with you in your office, in theirs, finance their projects. And it was such a powerful moment. Jimmy Kimmel said she should win an Emmy for that speech. The only thing that did make me a little sad, though, is there weren't that many women that got the chance to stand up.
Isn't that incredible?
There weren't that many nominees.
That's kind of insane.
Yeah.
That's kind of insane. But I will say, what a selfless moment for her to, I mean, obviously, she just won an Academy Award, her second one. Not many people can say that, but she actually made it more than her, right? It was more than her. And honestly, it was a moment for all those women in the audience to celebrate each other. You could see them all just looking at each other. Margot Robbie was getting emotional. I think they were all excited to not only share in that, but also be like, to also make a powerful statement in that moment just by standing up all females. Of course, in light of all the sexual harassment allegation that has been plaguing Hollywood all award season long. It was a really, really poignant moment.
And Time's Up and Me Too, those movements were a part of the conversation tonight. We'll talk about that. Also, want to clarify something for you guys if you were a little confused or wondering what it meant. Frances ended her speech by saying she had 2 words for everybody: inclusion rider. So in an inclusion rider, what that is basically just the idea that if you want to hire an actor or actress or somebody to work in your movie on your project, that you have to promise to be inclusive inclusive in your hiring of other people in the movie, of other women, of people of color, of people of different sexual orientations. So she was saying, make that inclusion rider something that you do in your work, because that's the thing, is that change has to start with people helping people, people hiring the right people, and making the change come from tiny steps that make for big moments.
And it was amazing that that message was coming from her. You know what I mean? Like, she's been very vocal all season long.
Oh, yes.
And like you
We
mentioned,
love it.
And like you mentioned at the top of her speech, she was like, I have something to say. And she said it, she did. All right, so who won Best Supporting Actor? Well, that went to Sam Rockwell with 3 Billboards, her co-star, of course. That was really sweet, too. He was thanking his wife. He was thanking Frances. He was really excited to win that award. And obviously, he was the first one to kick off the whole show. So that was exciting. But also, we got to give a shout out to Allison Janney, who also won her first Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for I, Tonya. I love her. I love her so much.
What's not to love?
I mean, Queen of the Emmys is now Queen of the Oscars. I love it. I have a feeling we're going to see her up there one more time. I'm calling it right now. But she did go up there, and the first thing she says, she jokes, I did this all by myself. She was, of course, was kidding.
Right.
She was kidding.
The whole point of the speech is to thank the people who got you there.
The people who got you there.
Which were her.
But she was so excited. We actually caught up with her on the red carpet right before the award show, and she mentioned how what she was going to do. She almost decided she wasn't going to do acting anymore. She said she wasn't going to pursue it, and here's how she overcame it. Here's what she told E.T.'s Kevin Frazier and Nancy O'Dell.
Well, I've had many dark times where I thought about giving up acting, and the way I got through it was right before I was going to pick another career or fly home to Dayton, Ohio. I would get a job. Something would come through at the last minute. I did a lot of research to find out what else I could do if I wasn't an actress. And it always seemed like when I got to that most desperate point, I would just get a little nibble, like something would come in and keep me there.
Thank goodness.
That nibble led her to an Oscar, everybody. Take a bite out of that, Allison. Yes.
Aren't you glad she didn't quit? I mean, gosh.
It's the hardest job in the world. I always think of that Amy Poehler quote. She said, if you can see yourself doing anything else, don't be an actor, because it's the hardest job. It involves so much rejection and so much striving for yourself. I shouldn't say the hardest job, but it's a tough job, and you're really putting yourself on the line. So it was great to see so much great work celebrated tonight. And you guys' comments are coming in. JC picked Shape of Water to win, so we had some fans out there.
Hope you won your Oscar pool, JC.
Guys, Denny didn't do that well.
Okay, I also didn't do that bad, Lauren. I didn't do that bad. I didn't win, but I didn't do that bad.
I didn't even fill one out, so who am I to talk?
I'm such an Oscars geek. I'm sorry.
Kyle wanted 3 Billboards to win. We got those acting wins for it, though not Best Picture. Lil Miss over on YouTube says, Frances is amazing. Yes, she is.
No.
Also loved how she acknowledged her family in the audience, too. And you really see people's like true emotions when they get up there. And she said, this feels like I'm Chloe Kim at the Olympics winning.
I loved that, by the way. I hope people got that reference. I'm like shouting out that.
And Laura loved the performance of This Is Me. Yes, so many people were like emotionally overwhelmed
Meryl
by that
Streep
performance.
was into that. She was getting right into it. You mentioned how hard it is to be an actor, and you know people certainly have to pound payment. And someone who knows that all too well actually is Jordan Peele, who tonight became the first African American to win Best Original Screenplay for Get Out, one of the most powerful and socially relevant films of the year. I actually lost my pool because I voted Get Out for Best Picture. As much as I loved Shape of Water and as much as I appreciate Guillermo's work in that film, I thought Get Out could do it.
That's why it's so fun when Best Picture is this wide open, is because you have these surprise wins, especially after Get Out won at the Indie Spirit Awards.
Exactly.
Literally yesterday, people were like, ooh, that's usually an indicator of Best Picture.
Right.
But so awesome to see Jordan Peele becoming the first African-American man to win for Best Original Screenplay. I felt like that was a moment where you just saw the raw emotion of this guy kind of being like, I was this comedian and now I have an Oscar.
You can see in his face, he tweeted after, he's like, there's some expletives, so I won't repeat it, but he is shocked that he won an Oscar. He is shocked he won an Oscar. But also, I will say, I probably got the most thunderous and rousing applause. He got a standing ovation when he won. And like you mentioned, when he's walking away, I think he was so nervous he forgot Nicole Kidman was behind him. He was just like, oh my God. He just like finished his speech. He's like, I can't believe I just won an Oscar. So that was cool to watch this guy from Comedy Central just make it on the Academy Awards stage. It was really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And for a great film.
So speaking of, we're talking these emotional moments, these raw moments that really got to all of us. So let's just talk the biggest moments of the show. Jimmy Kimmel opened. I want you to talk about that a little bit because, guys, I was on the red carpet, so I missed the opening. I just got back here.
He had a lot to address. Obviously he went for Harvey Weinstein. He went for it. He he found that balance like we predicted of being political and being poignant, but also funny. But I will say. if I'm being honest, I feel like his monologue was a little less memorable than it was last year. Oh. Yeah, I think so. He was trying to move it along, and I will say though, the funniest moment came perhaps of him bribing the entire audience, saying, "Guys, this is a long show."
Yes.
Apparently, the first Academy Awards was only 15 minutes. So to bribe them, the incentive was if you gave the shortest acceptance speech, you walked home with a jet ski, folks. And to present the jet ski, none other than Dame Helen Mirren.
I love it. And by the way, he came true on that promise. At the end, somebody won. I believe it was a win for costume. Yeah. And Helen Mirren was riding the jet ski out with the winner. Look at her. She's like, Price is Right, like Vanna Whiting that. It was really, really funny.
And she changed her gown from the red carpet just for that,
Of course
right?
she did. That's Dame Helen Mirren. That's the queen. Yes, I saw her on the red carpet. She was in a blue dress. She had blue, stunning jewels. You guys, go check out the photos at etonline.com.
Right.
She told me they were Harry Winston jewels. She said it's the first time she wore serious jewelry, so she had to wear a simple dress. But now we know she also had to have a fun, sexy dress on during the show. Helen Mirren checks all our boxes.
It was her Price is Right model.
Yes.
Moment. She nailed it. She could do anything.
Oh my gosh, so many great women. And by the way, you guys, so many female presenters tonight. That was something that the Academy did consciously as part of the movements that were happening all awards season long. At the Golden Globes, everybody wore black. That was not the case at the Oscars tonight because the leaders of Time's Up said, look, we don't want to be anti-awards show and we don't want to detract from the show. We're just about making the movement and longevity of it. So, but ways that they did nod to the movements that were happening were all of the female presenters. So let's talk about
Among them is my spirit animal, Rita Moreno. Yes. First of all, she is rocking the same dress she wore in 1962 when she won an Oscar for West Side Story. And look at her. She owned the moment. I mean, guys, that was just her interest.
Can we play it again?
Yes,
I mean,
let's
get
roll
one more time for Rita. Rita just loving that, relishing it.
Living her life.
Oh my God.
Look at that's a viral moment. That's the moment. You know what? The Oscars sometimes could be a 3-hour nap, you know, but no, people like Rita really livened it up, and it was so fun to watch.
And then I want to get into
Tell me.
Pure comedy gold. Tiffany Haddish and Maya Rudolph, you guys.
Stole the show.
If you missed this, we are only able to show you a little bit of it, but it was like they were up on stage presenting a couple of awards for several minutes. We were laughing our butts off. We want to give you a little taste of what they did. They were playing off of, you know, the former hashtag Oscars So White, which Oscars have gotten a little less white, but not that much less white. So here are Tiffany and Maya.
But when we came out together, we know some of you were thinking, are the Oscars too black now?
But we just want to say, don't worry. There are so many more white people to come to.
So many.
Like, yes.
Tell me that was not an audition to host the Oscars for next year.
I literally was, I mean, what we want is for them to host the Oscars. But by the way, you guys, Katy Perry tweeted, Rudolph Haddish 2020. She wants him to run for president.
I was going to say, if they're not going to host the Oscars, maybe they can run for office.
I just loved them. They were so funny. Tiffany, by the way, out there in Uggs. In Uggs, because they were joking that they just wanted to go out there, take their shoes off, their feet hurt.
And I don't know if you guys noticed that white dress she's wearing is the same one she wore during the Girls Trip premiere and when she hosted SNL. She said, I bought this dress with my own money and I'm going to get a lot of use out of it.
Yes.
And that you did, Tiffany. At the Oscars.
At the Oscars. I mean, what we've witnessed since Girls Trip came out is a woman who was working hard in this industry and is now just bursting onto the scene. And she used every moment of the Oscars to become unforgettable.
Not just on the show, but also on the red carpet. I mean, she really did own her moment. She is beside herself that she has had the year that she's had, but that she's also at the Academy Awards. And E.T.'s Kevin Frazier got the best reaction from her about being there, but also being called out by Beyonce in her new song, Top Off.
I made it. Beyonce put my name in the song. I made it.
What did you think when you heard Beyonce call you out on the song?
I was like, that's me. I was so happy. I'm like, oh, I love you some Beyonce. Where them NDAs at so I can sign them?
Are you going to her party tonight? They're having a party.
I know. I got an invitation. As soon as I get out the car, I'm going to be like, where's the non-disclosure forms at? Where's the NDA? And I ain't never saying her name out loud again.
You're not going to talk about anything you see at the party?
Nothing I see at the party. Nothing I see. She might call me on the phone. I'm going to act like her name Gladys.
Tiffany has learned her lesson. She met Beyonce at an after party for Jay-Z's concert, snapped a selfie with her, and then she was blabbing a lot about that meeting, and she claimed that Beyonce wanted to fight another woman who came to talk to Jay-Z. All of a sudden, top off with DJ Khaled came, and Beyonce singing about Tiffany and non-disclosures. I'll tell you what, Tiffany's about to turn up at that party, but we're never going to know about it.
We're never going to know about it, and you know what? I support Tiffany in that because she gets to have a friendship with Beyonce.
That's true. That is true.
But I love, first of all, that Beyonce called her out and that Tiffany's like, yes, this is the coolest thing ever that Beyonce called me out. Talk about a positive spin. I agree, Katy Perry. Haddish for president. She can just put that political positivity spin on everything that happens to her.
I'm moving right along. You know, another bit. Jimmy had told us that he was hoping that after the Oscars, he did something that people would be talking about the next day. I think his attempt was this sketch where he basically pulled stars from the Oscars audience and brought them into a secret screening next door at the Chinese Theater of A Wrinkle in Time and surprised the audience. The best part about it, though, was you have all of these Oscar nominees, all of these celebrities and these stars walking in with, like, movie theater candy, a foot-long sub, no, I think it was like 6-foot sub or something like that, to hand out to the audience. And then you had Armie Hammer and Ansel Elgort with legitimate hot dog, what would you call it? Like
a hot dog cannon.
Hot dog cannon, shooting hot dogs at the audience. Like, can you imagine just sitting there watching Oprah and A Wrinkle in Time, all of a sudden Jimmy Kimmel walks in with Armie Hammer and they're shooting hot dogs at you?
It was super fun. And I think you mentioned this earlier with the monologue. The thing is, Jimmy Kimmel has got himself to go up against when he's hosting, you know? So we remembered, of course, that great moment where they brought a tour group into the Oscars before, and we had those people like, oh my God, I'm at the Oscars. He kind of reversed engineered it this year and had the actors go to the regular people.
I mean, it's kind of, you mentioned it, but it is a tough task to follow yourself. I mean, this is the second time back to back, you know? So how do you outdo yourself? And especially after that Best Picture fiasco, as a mess as it was such good TV.
Yeah,
like,
it's so hard. Sometimes those accidental moments, they make for such great TV that then the Academy's got to find a way to make great TV in a planned way. And it's hard. You can't create something to go viral, like scripting it. You know, it's hard to do.
You tried it.
It was good. It was, overall, I'll say this. I'm here for Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, there were a lot of serious topics that he also had to, like, address, or you know what I mean? It had to be, they folded it into the show. I know you have some more on Time's Up.
Yeah, guys, I mean, again, like we said, Time's Up did not want the whole night to be about the movement. Women were wearing Time's Up pins on the carpet, but they did want to acknowledge it, and they had said there would be moments acknowledging it during the show. So there was. We got just different interviews with different actors talking about, you know, making changes in the industry and what they wanted to see happen from here. Actors and actresses talking about not only, you know, being inclusive to women, but also being inclusive to different religions and races. And we also had an awesome performance that brought out some of those faces of the different movements on stage. So that was a little taste of it. We'll have more for you guys at etonline.com. But I actually got to speak to Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino on the red carpet. So they showed up together, and they were two of some of the first women to come forward talking about the allegations of sexual harassment they had that had happened to them. So I talked to them about what it was like, frankly, that Harvey Weinstein was not at the Academy Awards tonight, because that man was a face on those red carpets for years with winning movies, winning Oscars himself. So here's what Ashley and Mira had to say.
It feels appropriate, and as Mira said, sexual abuse and sexual trauma are really hallmarks of American culture, and so we're here to change that and to have a full revolution. And it's just wonderful to get to be a part of in some small and very significant ways.
So she was just so poised and speaking so perfectly. And I think that was hard for them. You saw when they were on stage tonight, you know, these are really raw things that have happened to these women. And for them to power through and to be on that red carpet doing interview after interview and to then get up on stage, I was just so impressed with it.
We mentioned on Friday that Ava DuVernay had revealed that the Time's Up members had actually met with show producers to carve out a moment. Obviously, it's really hard to ignore what's going on in Hollywood right now, so it was kind of amazing to see that they did really address it directly, but also in such a poignant way. But that being said, you know, it wasn't just that either, the women's movement. I feel like this Oscars in particular was probably one of the most important ones, one of the more important ones. And as we saw with the winners, a lot of inclusion, a lot of diversity. You saw Mexico really represented tonight with Guillermo del Toro's win in Shape of Water, Coco. Jordan Peele became the first African-American screenwriter. It was just a really poignant ceremony. You know? Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. And so great that it was the 90th Academy Awards. You know, the Golden Globes had an anniversary this year as well. So it was great that it all started there. And now we're wrapping this awards season up with this really powerful night. And it does also put into perspective how long it's taken change to happen. In that package, I think it was Gina Davis, she said, you know, when Thelma and Louise came out, people thought, oh, this is going to be the watershed moment. And that was decades ago. So here we are now, still pushing for that change to happen. But I think what's awesome to see is how everybody embraced that tonight and how everybody was taking a moment to make a difference with what they had to say.
Props to production because they also addressed it in those mashup montages. Like I'm thinking about Best Supporting Actress in particular. They mashed up all the past winners from their films and made a really powerful statement. It was kind of amazing to watch. I was
with the sound bites they used, they made a statement with them. It was really great editing.
Incredible. You guys are probably going to win an Emmy for that one. But no, really special night.
And want to get to more of you guys' comments. Simone says she was so excited for Jordan Peele. Kat says Rita is a legend. Yes, she is. A lot of you guys are talking about how much you loved Mary J. Blige's performance.
She looked amazing.
My God.
She had told me around January at the beginning of this long haul of award shows that she was dieting for this. Girl, go get yourself a double-double. Get your cheeseburger at that Governor's Ball. You deserved it. Double nominee. Also made history tonight.
I thought all of the performances tonight were really solid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and of course, you guys, we want to remind you, we are just giving you a taste of the Oscars. They just finished. We're still processing them, and we love hearing all of your thoughts. So please keep sharing them with us, and head over to etonline.com where we literally have an office full of people breaking out every interview we're doing, talking about all the different moments, and getting all that great content for you.
And you can still get your Oscars fix tomorrow. We are breaking down the fashion of the night, the most talked about moments, what you didn't see on TV. That'll be live tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. We're doing a live version of the Daily Denny, so make sure you check us out on ET's Facebook page, also our YouTube channel.
May I tease that one woman I spoke to was wearing $4 million worth of diamonds, you guys. You're going to have to find out who it was tomorrow. And of course, check out Entertainment Tonight tomorrow night because E.T. the show will have all these great behind-the-scenes moments that you didn't see on TV and the parties. The parties are still to come right now.
They just started. We're going to be up for a while.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for following along and watching. And of course, head over to etonline.com for all things Academy Awards.
Thanks for a great award season, you guys. I'm Lauren Zima.
That's right. And I'm Denny Directo. Good night.